Hey y'all, I'm Romania and welcome to My Story for His Glory. I believe that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. I want you to understand that that thing that you went through, that thing that you survived, is going to be the strength that a person next to you needs to make it through. So if you want to share your story, I need for you to contact us at 757-339-0372. Your story is worth being heard, and it's actually someone else's deliverance. Real life meets real deliverance on My Story for His Glory. Hey y'all, it's Romania from Bountiful Blessings Ministries. Welcome to My Story for His Glory. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here today, y'all. I want to make sure that I say this first. My pastors are Brian and Darrell Johnson. This is Bountiful Blessings Ministries. And again, welcome to My Story for His Glory. So excited to be here on today. I have in the house one of my longtime friends all the way from Durham, North Carolina. So excited to have her. Y'all go ahead and give her a hand. Oh my God. So excited. I'm going to tell y'all, when the day that this woman called me and told me her story is a couple of years ago when it happened. And I'm telling you, it just rocked my world. But to look a couple of years past and to see what God has done in this woman's life, y'all, my story is for His glory. It's awesome. It's phenomenal. So the title today is She Stayed to Live the Life, Ran to Save Her Life. Woo. And I'm telling you, her life has been saved. God has done a work. And when you guys hear her story, you're going to know just what we're talking about. Amen. All right. So anyways, I want you to go ahead and share. Make sure that you like it, that you comment. Throw up some hearts. Y'all give us some love in this place because we need it. We love you guys too. Just make sure that you share it and let people know, because there are so many people out here that are dealing with this particular issue. Domestic violence, y'all. It's an epidemic. It's real and it's happening to so many people. And because of the nature of it, they're not seeking help. They're not getting the help that they need. And they need to know that they're not alone. You're not by yourself in that. There's so many people that are going through it. And so this woman right here has lived through it, and she's going to share her story, and we're going to give you some help. We got some resources that we're going to be posting up there. She's going to have it out there on the page for you to be able to see so that you can get the help that you need. And of course, you guys, you know, I have my stats because I want to make sure that you understand that truly this is an epidemic, okay, and it happens every day, and so we need to do something about it. It says that every 9 seconds a woman is beaten. Every 9 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A woman is being beaten right now, y'all. Okay, that's something to think about. 3 women are murdered every day by their current or former male partner. Every day. 3 women lose their life to this. Okay? And this is the last one. 4,774,000 women in the U.S. And we're not talking about the nation, because I want you to think about what could be going on in some of these different countries. Okay? But in the U.S., experience domestic violence every single year. Almost 5 million women are dealing with this. It's an epidemic. Okay? And so, again, we have Lisa Mack in the house. I want her to share her story. Start looking on the page. If you're dealing with this, we have information about the hotline up there. It's 1-800-799-SAFE. It's the National Domestic Violence Hotline, okay, if you need help. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this on over to Lisa Tell us your story.
Well, all my life I've just been really, I worked hard. I took care of my children. I went to school full time. I worked full time. And when me and my husband, when we got married, we had a good life. Everything was good at first. And it just all of a sudden just turned bad. He started drinking, and once he started drinking, it's just like everything just kind of like went downhill from there. He didn't drink.
So he didn't used to drink at all? Okay.
No, because he always said he wanted to make sure that he was able to have full control. And I never knew what that meant.
Wow.
But I found out. Because definitely when he drank, he was a whole nother person that I really didn't know. But, he took care of us. He made good money. And we were able to have, a lot of things that I wouldn't have had without him. We had cars, we had money, we had a nice, big house.
How many bedroom house, Lisa?
5 bedrooms and a big bonus, 3,000 square feet. It's a nice house.
So you were living a good life.
Yeah, yeah. I lived a really good life, and we traveled. We did a lot of traveling. We could pretty much go anywhere we wanted to. I was able to, provide for my children any kind of way I wanted to. I was able to help anybody in my family who needed help. It was a really good life. But it's, slowly started turning. Once he started drinking, he started hanging out all night, cheating. There was always some verbal abuse. And I could see, signs of things that I kind of ignored because I didn't want to not give up the life, but, it was embarrassing, especially for me, because of who I am, because of my family, knowing how I am. It was really just embarrassing. I mean, the first time that we had a physical altercation was 2 weeks before my wedding.
Wow.
And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to cancel everything?
Wow.
Everything was paid for. So I went on with it. I went on with the wedding, and that's probably the worst mistake I ever made in my life. But I did it, because I didn't want to disappoint anybody in my family. I went on with it.
Because it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of us feel. When we're caught in that situation, it's embarrassing for people to think. I mean, like she said, because I want you guys to know. Now, I've known Lisa for quite a few years, okay? And what I know of her, this is prior to the marriage. I know that this woman worked a full-time job. She was a single mom and went to school full-time, okay? And she did that to get her associates onto her bachelor's, and now this woman has a master's degree. So she's not somebody that was just looking for somebody to take care of her. She worked, and she worked hard, and they knew her to be strong, okay? And that's where a lot of us women get caught up in, for those of us that think that we're strong. And because of that, it causes us to not want anyone to know. This is embarrassing. Oh my God. How can I back out of this? Like she said, at her wedding day, 2 weeks before her wedding day, is the first time that he beat her. But because of that shame, she went forward.
Yeah.
So the next time that it happened, Lisa?
The next time it happened was at home, and that's the first time that I got strangled. And it was just unreal.
What happened?
Life. Well, he had been staying out all night, and I wrote him a letter because, I was just really upset. I wrote him a letter and just explain my feelings, you know. And when I came home from work, I worked third shift, he was standing there and I could tell something was not right. And I went in the bathroom, I put on my night clothes, I went to bed, and he came to the door of the bathroom and he was like, "Are you ready to die?" I'm like, "Huh?
Wow.
What are you talking about?" You know, he's like, "Are you ready to die?" I'm like, "What?" He took the letter that I wrote to be threatening. And next thing I know, he kind of like chopped me in my neck.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And then he strangled me. And it probably went on. He had the music up really, really loud. His son was there. The music up really, really loud, so no one could hear what was really going on. And the strangling didn't go on that long, but it went on long enough. My tongue had swelled.
Wow.
It was purple. My throat was swollen, and he just screamed and cussed and fussed. I mean, about everything, not just what was going on then. It was just so much, and I'm like, what is all this coming from? It was just, I couldn't believe it. And afterwards, he would be really, really nice. I mean, he wanted to be sexual.
Wow.
You know, and I'm like, I'm crying because I'm hurting. I'm literally hurt. And
And he wanted to have sex?
he wanted to have sex. Yes. It was just unreal. I never in my life thought that I would go through anything like that, and I still didn't say anything.
You didn't tell anybody?
Nope.
And nobody knew?
Nobody knew. I stayed away. I did go to work. But I didn't tell anybody. I did not tell anybody. And then the second strangling was, of course, the night that my marriage ended. March the 7th, 2015, the night I will never ever forget. I mean, of course, in between that time, there was instances where, you know, violence took place.
How long were y'all married?
4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I remember you said 2 weeks before the wedding
Yeah.
is the first incident.
Yeah.
So this went on, the beatings and all of that went on for...
Throughout the whole marriage, but it was mainly verbal, but the physical abuse, it would probably happen, you know, it wouldn't be like back to back to back. Maybe once a year or something like that, you know. But towards the end, you know, it was just the verbal abuse was just, he would threaten to kill me.
I do want to ask this, Lisa, as far as he's concerned, okay, because this is a man that you had been with for years.
Yeah.
Your second child is by him, who is what? She's
5 years old.
no.
Oh, Chrislyn, my daughter.
Uh-huh.
She's 18 years old.
She's 18. Okay, so you've known this man for a while. You guys have been in a relationship for quite a number of years, and y'all get married. Okay, you have another child by him. What happened where he's had never done this before, and then 2 weeks before you get married, it's a man that you don't know anymore.
Right.
What? There had to be something that happened with him. Something.
No, I still to this day don't understand it.
Okay.
Because I don't know what happened. I mean, I seen signs, and trust me, his family members, his sisters, they told me, they were like, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" But I was in love. I was
So they
in
knew some
love.
things that you didn't know.
Yes.
Wow.
Lots of red flags.
Okay.
And yeah, they had seen him do things before, and in my mind, I'm like, that's not gonna happen to me. You know, this man loved me, and I knew it. I felt it. You know. I felt it. seen that side of him.
Okay, so get us to that night.
Well, that night, my daughter, she would always help me with my son. And that particular night, she wanted to just spend a night with her friends and have some fun, So I was like, you know what? I can't keep doing this to her, Go ahead. I said, go ahead. I'll worry about my son. Half the time I didn't know whether he was coming in or if he was going. I mean, if he was going to come in, if he was going to stay out. I was praying that he would stay out. Really, I would pray. I'm like, oh, please let him stay out because I didn't want him bothering me. But this particular night he came in. I can't remember what time it was. Somewhere between 1 and 2 a.m. And I could tell he was drunk. It felt like something else was going on, but I couldn't be for sure. I don't know. But he came to bed and he was like, well, first thing, I called out from work because, like I said, I didn't know. I let my daughter go, and I didn't know if he was coming or not. So,
Right, and you needed somebody to make sure your child was taken care of, right?
Yeah, so the easiest thing to me to do was I called out from work, told him I wasn't coming. So he got there and he was like, so what's the plan for Calvin? I said, I'm going to be here. I called out from work. And you would have thought, I mean, that's how it started. He's like, you called out from work. You didn't ask me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, the relationship got to the point where I wasn't a wife anymore. I was like a child. I had to ask.
That control thing.
Yeah, I had to ask. He felt like I should have asked him if I could call out from work, and I didn't. And he was so mad about that. I mean, he was really, really, really angry about it. And he started, once again, cursing, fussing. Next thing I know, he was like on my face, and we're laying in the bed. My son was, in the bed too. He was asleep. And I said, I can tell that, you've been drinking. And when I said that, he got up and he went in the bathroom, and I just heard water running. I'm like, what is he doing? And I looked, and he was taking water from the shower and just putting it all over the floor. And I was so confused. I'm like, why is he doing that? And then the next thing I know, he come in there and he just jumps on me and immediately starts strangling me. And literally, I'm like fighting for my life. I couldn't get him off of me. I broke all his chains that was, I could not. He overpowered me, and I don't know how I got on the side of the bed, and I remember reading somewhere where it says if somebody is strangling you, to pretend like you are dead. And that's what I did. I pretended like I was dead, and that was it until I remember feeling like I was kicked, and I kind of was coming in and out. And I remember, I just seen a round circle, and I was just seeing different stages of my life.
Wow.
And I remember waking up, and it happened like 3 times. I was waking up, going back out, waking up, going back out, and I was just screaming and screaming. I don't know if I'm actually screaming or if it's, I don't know. But I know I feel like I was just screaming and screaming.
And you said you saw your different stages of your life. So you were going in and out of consciousness, and you were seeing visions and things like that before your eyes. Yeah. What in the world? You said a round circle?
Yeah, it was circles. It was a circle. Yes.
Just stages of your life. Oh my God.
Yep. And then when I finally woke up, I see him standing over me. Of course, cursing, screaming, and I just remember being in so much pain. My whole body was just aching. I couldn't figure out why am I hurting so bad. I don't know what he did to me while I was out. And he was just screaming, get up, get up. If you don't get up, I'm going to do it again. He wanted me to go to the bathroom. And it was just every ounce of strength in me. I just got up. I crawled to the bathroom. And when I got to the bathroom, I looked down, I'm like, there's that water. You know, and he's looking at me like he wanted to push me. He wanted me to fall. You know, I could just tell he was really, that's what he put that water down there for. He wanted me to fall.
He wanted, oh my God. So he was staging
Yes.
your death.
Yes.
Staging her death.
Yeah, and then when he had, I looked in the mirror and my face was just, it was blood everywhere. And I'm like, what on earth happened? I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, what on earth happened? So he gave me a rag and he made me wash my face. My lips had, I guess he had hit me. My lips were busted, and that explained the blood all over my face. My finger broke, and it still broke to this day.
You can't straighten that out.
No, my daughter, she wants me to get it fixed so bad. I'm like, no, that's my reminder.
That's
You
right.
know, that's my reminder of what I went through, and my strength to know that I'm not going to do it again.
That's right. And that's good too, because I talk to, or I'm not gonna say like I'm an expert at all, but when you have friends that are going through different things, because I know that I had a friend that used to go through that, and when we think that we're strong women, because God has had to break me down in some areas to let me see, oh, you thought you were strong, let me show you this. Because a lot of times we look at these women and we think that they are weak. Why you can't leave? Why you staying? Why you going through this abuse? They're not strong enough. And that's what we got to get down and start praying for them. And we got to encourage them. Because, back then, I just thought she was weak. I'm like, I can't even deal with you. What is wrong with you? I done came down here and did this, and that. And she couldn't leave. But what she said right there, that's it. Forgive them. Don't you ever forget.
No.
Don't forget so that you won't go back. Because if you forget, you can so easily walk right back into what God has delivered you from. But forgive. But don't you go back.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you. I probably wouldn't get mine fixed either, because I would want to remember.
Yeah.
I almost lost my life. And the fact, and it's something that you mentioned to me when we were talking. You said that water on the floor. You said that he wanted you to get there. You knew he wanted you to get there. And you told me that he was trying to push you down to make you fall. Like those injuries came from that. Something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he did that before he even laid a hand on you.
Yeah. Yes.
He came in there with a purpose.
And even the blood on the rag, after, he went and got some spray and made me get all the blood out of the rag.
Oh my God.
So that it was, you couldn't see it.
Wow.
And
Premeditated.
yeah, he cursed and fussed once more, and I guess he just got tired, and once again, he wanted to perform sexual act. And I'm like saying to myself, oh my gosh. But at that point, luckily my son woke up, and he was crying, and I guess my ex, he got really agitated with him and started cussing at him. My son was 2 years old, and somehow my son was looking at me, and I told him, I just said, and he understood. I felt like because he
knew.
really quieted down, and he went to sleep. My ex, he went to sleep, and when I knew he was asleep, I got up. I only had on my night clothes, and literally my night clothes were drenched because when I woke up, I was laying in a puddle of my own body fluids. So my night clothes were drenched. They were wet. My son, he only had on a t-shirt and a diaper, but I got him. I got my pocketbook, and I just ran. I ran out the back door. I don't know why I went out the back door. It was that front door, but I ran out the back door. Ran around the house. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. To my neighbor's house, I said, if I go over there, he gonna come over there. So I just got in my car and I just drove as fast as I could. And I went up to Food Lion in my house and I called the police. And I knew that moment, that was it. That was it. I could barely talk. But I knew I would never go back. Never. That was it.
That was it. Wow. Y'all, this is Lisa Mack. Her story for His glory. We're going to get ready to take a quick break here in a minute. But I just want to say, I just want everybody to understand. This woman went through something, and I don't know a whole lot of medical terminology, but I do know that woman was laying there on that floor, and she was seeing phases of her life passing before her. She lost consciousness. She was leaving here, but God gave her the strength. He brought her back and kept her here so that she can do this work that y'all going to hear about when we come back for the glory segment.